What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's get into NXT, the final NXT of the year from December the 31st, 2024. The New Year's Eve edition of NXT, which was pretty good. It was pretty good. I enjoyed this episode. All year long, NXT has been good. There have been a couple of, I would say, okay shows. But for the most part, about 95 to 98% of NXT this year has been good. So we kicked the show off with the first match of the night. Kalani Jordan defeats Lola Vice in a really good match. This match was good. So Kalani wins via the Bridget O'Connor roll for the 1-2-3, which was good. I thought she was going to pull it out with the split-legged moonsault that she does, but that wasn't the case. And this was really good. I'm loving what they're doing with Kalani. They're now giving her her character more aggression. And I like that. I think that's a very good thing for her to have, because she was this happy-go-lucky, smiley baby face, kind of like how Roxanne Perez was back in 2021 when she came in to NXT. So post-match, Cora Jade shows up. She attacks both Lola Vice and Kalani Jordan with a kendo stick, and then Stephanie Baker makes a save. And then out of nowhere, inadvertently, Lola Vice hits Stephanie Baker with the spinning back fist. So I thought that was interesting. I want to see how this is going to really play out. So we'll have to wait and see. Moving on. So we get a Fatal Influence vignette and everything. That was pretty okay, I guess. Moving on. So this leads us into Cedric Alexander. He was backstage. He had a backstage interview with Sarah Schreiber. And so he said that he's been in the industry for 15 years, which is hard to believe. That's crazy. He says that he's never seen brutality like what happened to Javon Evans. His jaw was wired shut. Cedric is more concerned about Javon getting better and being able to eat normally than getting back in the ring. So Ethan Page shows up. He joins the conversation. Ethan Page doesn't care that Cedric had text conversations with Javon Evans, but one of those texts should read, "Stay away from Ethan Page," because he's going to put Cedric right next to Javon, and that was awesome. That was a great line. And then this led into a brawl backstage, which was great. And then that inevitably led to their match. So it was an impromptu match because it was supposed to take place later on in the show. Moving on. So Giulia cut a long promo in Japanese. She did really well. She talked about how next week at New Year's Evil, she's been waiting for the match since October. She put over Roxanne Perez, the fact that she's been a great champion. She also mentioned women from the past like Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Shayna Baszler, and Asuka. And she wants to have her name be etched in the future Hall of Famers. She said when she first saw wrestling, it felt like electricity surged through her entire body. She knew this was her calling. Japanese women's wrestling is a world of grudges and relentless determination. It's all about trying to prove yourself. 7 years in Japan, she fought incredible wrestlers and had matches that the fans will always remember. The warrior spirit is telling me not to lose Roxanne Perez. This time there is nothing you can throw at me that she can't overcome. No weapon, best friend, or anything else you could think of. At Deadline, she won the Iron Survivor Challenge for this chance, a chance to take what she traveled when she traveled across the world for the right to hold the women's title in the air next week. We start a new year with a new NXT Women's Champion. Really good promo there. I like that. Excellent stuff. I'm still trying to figure out, are they going to pull the trigger on Giulia next week? Because I don't know. Because you got to give us and the crowd that's going to be in attendance next week, they've got to give us at least one title change at least. And then maybe you can do the rematch between Roxanne Perez and Giulia at Stand and Deliver WrestleMania weekend. And build it, That's what I would do. Moving on. So, Joe Hendry, he wins the moment of the year. That was his debut. And so he actually did show up on this episode. It was a pre-taped video package he did. But he says, say his name, and he appears. He says, this is TNA superstar, wrestling superstar Joe Hendry. He just wanted to give a huge thank you to the WWE Universe for voting his NXT debut as NXT's Moment of the Year. This was a magical year that he got to share with everyone, and it was special because of the reception you gave him in the building and online. Thank you so much for the support. And before he left, he said, I just want to remind you, saying his name and he appears means anywhere, anytime, any show. And that was fucking awesome. So I think what's going to happen is we will probably get Joe Hendry in the Royal Rumble. And I do think that the Royal Rumble this year in 2025, well, next year in 2025, should have at least 10 surprises. That's what I would do. We should at least get at least 10 surprises in the men and women's Royal Rumble. And then you can bring in 20 just random guys, a couple mid-carders, a couple people from tag teams, and a couple, maybe one or two top guys that aren't doing anything. Top guys and top women that aren't doing anything. That's how I think the Rumble should go. But definitely Joe Hendry and Jordynne Grace will be in the men's and women's 2025 Royal Rumble for sure. And I can't wait for that. That's going to kick major ass. So, match of the year went to Josh Briggs, Dijak, and Femi when they had their triple threat for the NXT North American Championship back in Stand and Deliver in April. Joe Hendry, like I said before, he won Moment of the Year. Tag Team of the Year went to Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Superstar of the Year, Female Superstar of the Year went to Roxanne Perez, and Male Superstar of the Year went to Femi, which is great. All good picks. Moving on, so Ethan Page defeats Cedric Alexander with the cutter. And then post-match, Ethan Page throws Cedric into the steel steps, and then he gets out a toolbox, and he smashes the left hand of Cedric Alexander, which was fucking awesome. So I do like this. So Ethan Page made good on his promise. It seems like he's being a serious vindictive heel, and I'm a fan of that. I am a fan of that. I still do think that NXT will probably end up bringing Josh Alexander in February. That's when his contract is up with TNA in February. I don't know when, but we will definitely see Josh Alexander in NXT probably in February sometime, whenever his contract is up. We should see him, I would say, in the middle part of February or at the tail end of February. We'll see Josh Alexander. So that's what they might do with Ethan Page going forward. But I do like this, though. That was really cool. Moving on, so Hank and Take, they take issue with Tyson and Tyreek seeking advice from Wes Lee after everything he's done, and then Wes Lee then proceeds to challenge Hank and Tank to a 6-man tag. Moving on, so Kalani Jordan got into a shoving contest with both Stephanie Vacker and Lola Vice, so I do like this. I'm interested in seeing where that stuff goes. Moving on from that, Ava walks up to Cora Jade backstage. She's hanging out backstage by herself, I guess. And she informs her that she's going to be involved in a Fatal 4-Way next week in NXT's New Year's Evil. So the winner of that will face Fallon Henley for the NXT Women's North American Championship. I'm guessing at probably the pay-per-view in February, I guess. I don't know. So it'll be Kalani Jordan, Stephanie Vacker, Lola Vice, and Cora Jade. That should be fun. Moving on. So, the Metaphor won the Triple Threat Tag Team match, which featured KC Squared and Gigi Dolan and Shotzi Blackheart with the help of JC Jane. So she came out towards the end of the match, got involved, and this allowed for Last Legend to pick up the win with the pump kick because Gigi was thrown off the top rope by JC Jane, continuing that long rivalry. And so post-match, the Unholy Union, Alba Fire, and Isla Dawn show up, and then they challenge the Metaphor to a rematch. And the winners will be the new number 1 contenders to the Women's Tag Team Championships. I hope next year they bring back the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. So, it is what it is. I'm fine with this transport portal that they're doing on the main roster in NXT. It's fine. Moving on. So, Ava, she calls both Charlie Dempsey and Lexis King to come into her office. She tells Lexis King that there's a gray area when it comes to the Heritage Cup Championship due to the fact he won via DQ, disqualification. So at New Year's Evil, it's going to be Lexis King and Charlie Dempsey again for the Heritage Cup. But this time it's going to be sudden death, 1 pinfall only. And then William Regal says that he's not going to get involved in the match. And then Lexis King, he hands over the Heritage Cup back to Charlie Dempsey. It took him a while, though. So that's pretty cool shit right there. I do like that. Interesting to see where that goes. And I do think that William Regal will show up again and cost Charlie Dempsey the Heritage Cup. Because I do think that they are probably going to turn Lexis King heel. That's going to give him a little bit of sympathy. So, yeah. Moving on. So, Izzy Dame, she defeated Soruka with the help of Zarya by accident. Because Ruka took out Zarya with the split leg, with the moonsault, the Orahara moonsault by accident. So it was all inadvertently. She did what Lola Vice did earlier on in the night, and then this allowed for Izzy Dame to hit the eye drive for the 1, 2, 3. That's a weird name for a finisher, but it is, okay. Moving on. So Wesley, Tyreek, and Tyson, they defeat Hank and Tank and their mystery partner, which was Andre Chase. Andre Chase, towards the end of the match, walked out because he was looking out at the people in the crowd, thinking that they were his Chase U students. And this allowed for Wesley and Tyreek and Tyson to capitalize. So they ended up winning via the modified stunner for the 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's fine. I like this. I like how Wesley is forming a new faction. Interesting stuff. Interesting. Moving on. So, Ashantee Adonis, he ends up calling Karmen Petrovic and leaving her a voicemail, telling him to call him back. So, sexy ass Nikita Lyons, she shows up and she invites Ashantee to a hot New Year's Eve party. Ashantee says that if he can't be with Karmen, he'd rather spend New Year's Eve alone. I like that. Good shit. Really good shit. I like that. Excellent stuff. I'm loving this this love triangle between Ashantee Adonis, Nikita Lyons, and Karmen Petrovic. I'm loving this angle. Really good stuff here. Moving on. So, Sean Spears and his crew, they're backstage, and they're harassing Izzy Dame. She doesn't want nothing to do with them. Tony D sticks up for Izzy, telling them to leave her alone. So, Sean Spears made a hint that that he knows the guy who attacked the Don last week in the Santa outsuit, which was Rich Holland. And so Tony D tells Stacks to take care of Rich Holland. All right. Excuse me. So this leads us into the final segment. Mike Rome was in the ring. He was about to announce the Superstar of the Year. So Oba Femi comes out, and he got a great promo. He says he doesn't care about these awards. They mean nothing. It's all just a prop for a popularity contest. He thinks it's laughable that how people can dictate narratives here in NXT because you voice your opinions on social media. It doesn't matter whether you boo or cheer him or you chant woo. It doesn't matter. He says his performance remains the same. It's inconsequential. He says, you think you get to control something? You don't control nothing. The only person in this building, in this company, that gets to control anything is him because he's the ruler. He's the one who dictates the narrative. He's the one who stirs the ship. He's the captain now. He says if you don't believe him, you can tune in next week at New Year's Evil and witness me become the new NXT champion. So then Trick Williams comes out and he puts over Oba Femi. And he said that he knows it's going to be a triple threat match next week. He says he needs to bring back something different. He's talking about bringing back Trick Curry, Trick McGrady, Michael Trick, Trick James. That Trick Williams gets the job done. And then he knows that Oba Femi has some nicknames. The Ruler, the Destroyer, the King, Thanos Jr. But he's got another nickname, and it's called Old Beatable Oba. I do like that. So then Trick continues to talk smack to Oba Femi about, how when he lost, he took his ball and went home, basically. When he lost to Halloween Havoc, he was gone for a couple weeks. He took time off. He says, how long is it going to take time off after he gets beat at New Year's Evil? And then Eddy Thorpe shows up and attacks both Trick Williams and Oba Femi from behind. And then Oba Femi then gets hit by Eddy Thorpe, who used the NXT Male Superstar of the Year trophy. He hit him over the head with that, and then Eddy Thorpe poses with the NXT Championship, and then that was it. So this is fine. This makes perfect sense. I get where they're going with this. We all know that Trick is going to win next week. And I'm guessing they're still planning to do Oba and Trick come Stand and Deliver. So there's that. So interesting stuff there. Oh, I forgot to mention that Roxanne Perez cut a really good promo about how she won the female superstar of the year, and she put over all the women that she beat, and she said she's going to beat Giulia next week. That's all she really said. So I am excited for I am excited for New Year's Eve next week. I think that's going to be fun. It should be fun. Should be interesting. I'm down for it. And NXT has been good this year. It's been good. 2024 has been very, very kind to NXT. And I think in 2025 it'll remain the same. I am worried about the call-ups that's going to happen probably, but I would assume that they'll take place all throughout WrestleMania season. But I also hope that they end up bringing some guys and girls down that they aren't using on the main roster, maybe like Apollo Crews and guys like that. Maybe Legado del Fantasma. Maybe Pretty Deadly comes back down to NXT. That would be great. Stuff like that. People like that. So we'll have to wait and see. But what did you guys think of NXT? And I hope you guys have a happy and prosperous New Year. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.